Are you a hopeless romantic? Are you someone who just gives it everything when they start to like someone? Do you give your all to someone? Well, if this is you, keep watching and I'm going to tell you why you do and how to get out of this. Hi everyone, I'm Apollonia Ponti. I am your dating and relationship coach, founder of ApolloniaPonti.com, and I am your coach for you men to build the love lives that you created and you desire. And I also am your coach to help you with your attraction skills and your confidence and to really master your life in general. And this is a topic that is so important in today's world. I have a lot of clients that get into relationships and they go into it because they're taught that you should give it your all. And I want to be really, really bluntly honest with you guys. We start to have advice coming in from our ancestors, maybe your grandmother, your grandfather, and sometimes your parents. And there was this saying back in the days where you have to give your all to someone in order for them to love you. And that's not always the truth, okay? And I want to explain why, guys. Because what we don't say is we have to know who that other person is before we give them your all. And your all is not everything in your core being. Because in relationships, there's things that separate you, your passions, your responsibilities. So just because you're with one partner and the other partner is with you, doesn't mean that this partner forgets their passion and their responsibilities. This is what differentiates yourselves from each other. And also, this is what keeps attraction. But when we lose this part of it in our lives and we give someone our all, we start to lose ourselves with that person. So giving you your all also comes from the metaphor of Hollywood movies, right? There's so much in Hollywood movies that are amazing and they're so fun to watch. I am literally a fanatic at love story movies, and I watch like the Hallmark channel all the time on holidays, and it's all love stories. I'm a fool for it. But here's the thing, is these things start to train our subconscious mind, and I'm pretty aware of this, so of course I can talk about it. It's not like I let this happen, but when we start to indulge in TV, or let's just say in news, and it's negative stuff that's going on, we start to adapt that. So then we start to believe it. So then we carry that energy. It's the same thing with this stuff. We start to believe these Hollywood facades and we expect this Hollywood story to happen in our lives. So we give all in a relationship in order to think that if we give it all, that other person is going to give it right back to us. But in turn, all you do is you lose yourself. Giving it all can also come from past trauma, like related childhood stuff, right? So you were always proving or trying to capture love from your parents, your mother or your father. There's a lot of clients that I've worked with that had childhood trauma and we had to work through this. And what happens sometimes too is you go into your trauma. And I'm a big believer in having to cut the cord because it can happen again and again and again. Your trauma is also inherited by your ancestors. And what happens in life, if you can go back, I want you to think of this. For example, I have a lot of clients that come from addictions. And let's just say one of my clients right now that's off the top of my head, he has been clean for 3 years, and he was an alcoholic. And his mother was an alcoholic. His mother's mother was an alcoholic. And the trend follows until we break that cord, because we inherit our ancestors' trauma. I know this can sound crazy to some people that have never heard this before, but it's the truth, and I want you to think about this, okay? I'm gonna share you a personal story. My mother was always the person to deflect. Nothing was ever wrong with her. And that happened in my life too. And I had to break through with this because her grandmother did that. And her mother did that. So we were operating off of what we knew until someone had to cut the cord off of that. So this happens a lot too in trauma. So what happens and how it's associated with each other is because we're always trying to love someone so we can receive it back. Because the underlying goal in being a hopeless romantic or giving it all is because you just want to be loved. But understand that in order to be loved, we've got to love ourselves first in order to understand how someone can love us. So some tools that I want to give you before we end this video, if this speaks to you, is it's okay to be a hopeless romantic and really want love. But it's not okay to give yourself freely to someone who doesn't deserve it. So I want you to think back on where this possibly comes from. And then once you think back on where this possibly comes from, I want you to journal all of those emotions out, and I want you to put them on paper. It's basically like you're dumping them all on paper and putting them somewhere. And then I want you to reflect on how you can discipline yourself to not do this moving forward. And I have tons of videos that will help you do just that. If you liked today's video, I encourage you to give it a thumbs up and comment below. As always, I love hearing from you. So if you need more advice and more tips on really how to create that space with a woman, I have something for you. It's called my 20-question manual to get to know a woman's true self. And this is a free manual that I'll have below in the description box. As always, I'll see you again in the next video. And remember, you are always loved.